glasses on.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Angela.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is another edition of the Practice Gratitude Success Show, and I got somebody hiding over here on the side of the thing. He's trying to do the old calling with Len thing. I've got Len,
I almost fell off the chair.
I got Len Mooney here with me today. Hey, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Craig. Everybody's going to be coming in a little bit later on. Thank you so much for being here today. Today's a pretty cool show because this is my first time I've ever had somebody in my actual little studio here. I usually have that little cubicle up, so I put it to the side so this way we can have a little more room here today. So, but before we get going today, I want to put out a little prayer request for some friends of mine, or at least one lady in particular who's going to be having an aneurysm surgery on this upcoming Wednesday. Her name is Debbie Duran Whalen. So I've been posting that on my Facebook wall, and I will continue to do that until Wednesday. So please go out there and lift her up in prayer, whatever your faith is, whatever your belief is, and just put those positive intentions up there of gratitude, and so that everything's going to work out for her. And then I have one other friend who's going through something real big today. Her name is Jessica Mold. So if you can just keep her in your prayers, or anybody who's going through a tough time at this point, just put those positive intentions out there, so everything's going to work out good for them. Okay, so anyway, so welcome Len Mooney. I got Len from lenmooney.com. Len, get into the camera here so people can see your pretty little face.
Good morning, everybody, and good morning, Craig, Angela, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Who else is on here? Craig, I can't answer you in the chat because I'm sitting on Bob's computer. So if I type "Hi, Craig," it says it's from Bob, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Hi, Craig.
So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you, Len, for being here today.
Well, it's always my pleasure to be here, Bob.
Also, thank you, Chris, for saying prayers also for Jackson Kelly.
Yeah.
Jackson comes, he's a regular on the show. He comes out every Friday morning, and he has his Friday night live show and also Sunday night live program that he puts out. And so he hurt his knee real bad, and it's all I've seen pictures of it. It's real big, so it's
pretty ugly.
A lot of prayers for Jackson Kelly. So lift him up in prayers, please. I appreciate that. We'd all appreciate that. And we just came back just a few minutes ago from Fiesta Island, where I go down every day, and I go down. We see Andy the Grew of Fiesta Island, and so Len was there. Whenever Len is visiting here in San Diego, he goes down with me. We do his Coffee with Len video, and so we seen Andy did a short little video. And Andy's actually been on the greens that Len and I are taking right now, these healthy little greens. And today we're going to talk about healthy.
Here I am with my greens.
About healthy living, about moving towards good things, moving away from bad things. And that could be just that could be anything. It could be the toxins in your household. It could be the thought process inside your mind. It could be relationships. It could be anything. Just moving away from things that are going to hurt you and move towards things that are going to help you. And the things we're really talking about here today is the stuff that we're putting into our body, like these green drinks here, as opposed to like maybe having donuts or bacon or something like that. So so what do you think, Len? What do you think about the whole moving away from bad things and moving towards good things?
Well, I think the more I learn about it, the more I'm just I don't know how to say this, but I just feel compelled. I grew up in and by the way, folks, I'm trying to figure out, I'm still searching for, I know where the camera is here, but I'm not used to looking where the camera is on this computer. So if I look like I'm staring off into space, but when I grew up, and so many of us probably did the same thing, the environment I grew up in was a meat and potatoes environment. And it was red meat cooked in lard. I mean, my mother didn't know how to do anything except fry it in lard. That's how she cooked everything. Vegetables? Well, that was a joke. We won't talk about it. So I've often said it's amazing that any of us made it past 18 without having a heart attack.
Exactly.
But the reality is, the more we learn about what we need to do to take care of ourselves, and I put up a new website recently, as you know, called Healthy Aging. And that's really a little bit, I think, what the focus is about is healthy aging. Like I said in the video this morning, how to slide into home base at the end of life, yelling, "Hee-haw! I made it, and all my parts are here."
That's true. And it really is a balance, because as we were going over to Fiesta Island this morning, we were talking about that, and we can't, you know, we're not perfect. We're not some like 100% vegan people that are sitting on meditating and eating salads all the time. I eat salads a lot. I eat a lot more than I ever used to have before. But there is a balance of having things that are tasty and good for you, and having a little balance where you do maybe something, you allow yourself to do some of the bad things sometime, and then do more of the good things. So it's the balance, I think, that we're talking about.
Well, yeah, yeah, there has to be a balance, and I guess, and probably for each one of us, the balance is slightly different for different folks. But there's a quality of life too, and I mean, if I had to eat fried mustard collards or something every day for three meals a day, I probably wouldn't want to do that. But you know, I still enjoy my hamburger once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, well, when Len comes here, we probably do more of the not healthy things than we ordinarily would do. That I know I would do, or he himself too when he's at home. You know, we went to a meeting, a dive meeting he had the other night. That Len belongs to this big dive club. It's like it's a nonprofit thing, and they go on these exotic dive trips all over. So he invited me as a guest, and we had beer and pizza. And that's probably, you know, if you're looking to try to alkalize you get yourself at a good pH balance, beer and pizza are going to take you more acidic. They're going to put you to the more acidic level, where if you want to get rid of disease, you want to be more alkaline. And that's where like these things, like these healthy greens, you can't see the green in my cup, but you can in Len's, help, because you're alkalizing your body. You're putting good stuff in your body, not the bad things. But you know, it's funny. I posted something, and it's on my Facebook wall right now today. I posted something, a chart about, you know, between the things that are going to give you more acidic and things that are going to make you more alkaline. And I didn't realize this, but bananas, which I have every single morning in my smoothie, and I've been doing it for years, are acidic. And I didn't even know that. I thought the bananas were more of a healthy. Well, they are healthy, but they are leaning more towards the acidic. And so are things like oranges and, you know, things like that. So,
and acidic's not good for you, so you have to balance it, right?
We need a little bit. You need a little bit of both, I guess. I mean, we're both learning. Len and I are both learning, and that's the cool thing about that, is that we're both on this journey right now where we are moving towards the good things and moving away from the bad things.
Yeah. And I saw Chris's comment there that was meat and potatoes almost every day. Yeah, and bologna sandwiches, Chris, on white bread with mayonnaise.
Right.
Every day for lunch, bologna sandwiches when I was a kid growing up. That's what we had.
Christi asked a question. Said, have you noticed a difference since you've been using these greens daily? Actually, yeah, because you know what I do, Christi, when I wake up the first thing in the morning now, and I used to have the first thing in the morning was coffee. Was always coffee the first thing in the morning. And I still have my coffee, but before I do that, I make a glass of my greens first. This is my second glass today. And I will put another scoop of greens in my smoothie right after the show is all over. So yeah, so I do greens first thing in the morning. I do that the very first thing before I do anything at all. So yeah, the energy that I have right now is amazing. It's really, really a lot of energy.
I see that, Chris. Miracle Whip. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Miracle Whip. Can I go off on a tangent for a little bit, Bob?
Go right ahead,
I keep putting my glasses on because I can't read the chat without my glasses. But there's a tangent I want to go off a little bit on. And some of you have heard the story before. And if you have, I hope I don't bore you. But a lot of healthy aging, in my opinion, is also right there, just like everything else. If you believe you're healthy, you have a really better chance of being healthy than if you believe you're not. And what do I mean by that? When I was 40 years old, and I can barely remember that far back, by the way, folks. So those of you who know how old I really am, sort of keep it to yourself. You know, I don't like to tell the young girls how old I really am. You never know. But
they know, Len.
But seriously, when I was 40 years old, I was water skiing. I was behind the boat. My son was driving. I climbed back into the boat. And he said, "Dad, you're the only father I know that still water skis." And he had other friends that he went skiing with. So I didn't know that. I looked at him sort of incredulous. And I said, "Why is that?" He says, "Well, they all say they're over 40 now. They're too old." They just drive the boat. Well, let me tell you about those guys that were over 40 and too old to water ski when they were 40, and now they just drive the boat. The ones that are still alive are big fat blobs. They didn't get any exercise. They put it between their brain, their ears and their brain, that they were too old. And of course, that was a self-fulfilling prophecy. They were. Now, those of you who know how old I am, we can add 30 to that 40, and I'm still water skiing. And I'm not the oldest person in the club. And I'm still snow skiing, and I'm still doing all the things that I did back then. And people ask me, and people will say to me, I hope when I'm your age, I can still do those things. And my answer is really quite simple. Don't stop. You got to believe you can, and you can't stop. You will get old if you think you will get old. You will get old if you believe you are getting old. You will be too old to do things if you believe you're too old to do things. Does that make sense?
Amen. It makes total sense. It makes total sense. You know, we are what we think we are. The thoughts we put in most of the time is what we become. Like you use the word, the term, a self-fulfilling prophecy. It is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But it also means the older we get, the more we have to take action to maintain ourselves.
Right.
We can't get away with the same stuff when we're my age or your age that we could when we were 20 or 30. You know, I didn't have to go to the gym when I was 20 or 30, but now I have to go to the gym. I mean, I go 3 times a week, and I'd like to go more often, but I do get to the gym 3 times a week. You work out every morning.
Right.
I mean, this guy's on the floor in his bedroom doing push-ups at 4 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, if you want to maintain yourself, if you want to be able to continue to do things, you got to do that stuff.
You have to do it. Exactly.
You got no choice.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the older we get, the more we have to get our diet under control and cut back on some of the fatty intakes and stuff, and just in general take better care of our bodies. It's the only. What was her name that called it your Earth suit? Your guest last week.
Judy Martin.
Judy Martin, yeah, your Earth
exactly.
suit.
I like
you only get one Earth suit.
Exactly.
You better take care of it if you don't want it to wear out.
It's funny. I want to tell a little story. Len came here on Friday, and that day, a friend of mine brought over all these really good tasting brownies, which I mean, they're delicious, and I don't bring this stuff in for me anymore. I don't bring these kind of sweet sort of things, but they're so freaking tasty. You taste them, and they go, they taste so good. Anyways, before Len even got here, I must have had like maybe 4 of those things or whatever. And then later when he came, we went to Costco. And you know, when Len and I go to Costco, we walk around and we sample all the little food things and stuff like that. But we came back in the afternoon, instead of like me sitting there and talking to Len and doing things. I laid down and I closed my eyes and I was gone for an hour, and I never take a nap. I just don't do that anymore. I usually have so much energy, but I know it was because of those brownies and all the other little things that we ate there.
Oh yeah,
knocked me out for like an hour.
I had 2 of those little brownies, and I felt like crap afterward. Boy, they tasted good.
They tasted real good.
I don't have that stuff at home either. I don't bring it home. I don't buy it at the supermarket. So when I get home, it's not there.
I guess the thing is, we're not perfect. It's not like a lot of people say, well, I don't want to take the journey to become a vegetarian or a vegan or to be healthy because they don't think that they're properly prepared for it yet. They but it doesn't really matter. Just take the step, take the journey. It's not unlike opening up, having a home-based business.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, well, I will do it when I'm prepared for it, when I'm ready for it, when everything's perfect. Things are never going to be perfect, Artie. I mean, you just take the step, and things unfold for you when you do it.
Well, yeah, and for people that would ask the question, well, how do I begin? I'll give you the Larry Hochman answer, and it's a valid one. How do you begin? You start anything, but you start with baby steps. So let's say we're gonna get off of our meat and potatoes diet and get on to more salads and vegetables. Well, we wouldn't ask somebody to stop cold turkey, never have another piece of meat in their life, and just have salad 3 days for 3 meals a day. We would ask them to maybe have 1 salad a day and have their little piece of meat with it, and gradually wean themselves and gradually take baby steps.
Exactly.
And move.
Right.
But the thing is, none of us want to get to, let's call it the autumn of our years. We don't want to get there and be hampered by, heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all the diseases that are rampant in our society these days. And like you had 2 strokes, and what we talked about, you know, there probably are some things that if you knew them then, you could have done them then to
Right.
avoid
Yeah,
having
yeah.
that happen to
Yeah,
you.
my diet. I mean, I thought I was in good shape, but my diet was not good. I was
Yeah.
eating. I was the classic meat and potato guy all the time. Salt,
Yeah.
cookies, and milk. You know, just eating, just putting all these bad things into my body. So yeah, no, we talked about just this morning. Len asked me, he said, if I knew what I knew now, would I be able to avoid it? And I said, well, yeah, I probably would. I'm not saying that everybody who has something like that could, because there's a lot of some people there's babies in the womb that have strokes. You know, so that happens to a lot of people. But for me, yeah, I could have avoided. I'm glad I didn't, because it put me to where I am at this point right now in my life. Everything happens for a reason.
Well, let's come back to that baby in the womb. With what we know today, maybe that's avoidable too. I mean, we know that the average baby in the womb, based on that movie, the 10 Average Americans,
right.
We know that the average baby in the womb has 120 bad things, bad chemicals in their blood. So that's coming in from the mother, and it's, of course, we're not going to blame the mother. It's not her fault. It's the society. It's the poisons. It's the crap that gets put on our food. It's everything.
That's an amazing video. It's by an independent group. What is the environmental something? I don't even know what the name of it.
I forget the name. Yeah,
it's a nonprofit independent group, so it's not like some company that trying to sell something. It's an independent study, and they showed they did a blood test of 10 Americans who turned out, they tell you towards the end that these Americans were babies in the womb, and they had, like what Len just said, like about 120 toxic chemicals already in their bloodstream.
So
come on,
it's not a surprise that babies in the womb are having these things happen to them.
Yeah,
I mean, with that level of toxification, I think you can expect it.
Yeah, and it's amazing. We go on a webinar Monday through Thursday. It talks about this. If you go to sixfigures.com, you can check it out. You can register for it. It starts at 6 o'clock at Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern time, and they talk about the silent soak. The silent soak, where we are just surrounding ourselves by all of these chemicals that are just around us in our household. Like Christi Kelly's here right now. She did a wonderful video where she went around and she read all of the different the ingredients for all these chemicals that are in her house, and literally threw them right in the trash can. It's a great video. Just send her a message. I'm sure she could send you that video. But it's just a really, really cool video. But she just starts tossing all of these things away and replacing them with things that are going to be healthy for you. And I'm not saying go out there and take everything out of your household right now and just throw it away, or take all your food away. Do like what you said. Take a little step at a time.
Yeah.
Just start doing little things. Just move away from the bad and move towards the good. And if you do that, and if you do that every single day, you start marching towards the good and start moving away from the bad, you're going to start having more good, and you're going to have less bad. That's all there is to it. Yeah.
Amen.
If you want to do 200 push-ups in the morning, start with one. Just so today I'm going to do one push-up, and then tomorrow maybe attempt to do 2 push-ups, whatever, or a little walk around a block or whatever.
Yeah, well, the same thing. Larry, in one of Larry's audio tapes that I have, he points out that, you're going to start to go to the gym. You haven't been to the gym. You've been sedentary for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Well, you don't go to the gym, get on the treadmill and go 10 miles. Maybe the first day you go to the gym, you walk around the treadmill and look at it. and you take baby steps.
Take a step towards it. Exactly.
Yeah. But that's the way to get started with anything.
Yeah.
I saw a comment from Angelo there about a great chart, but also about some foods that are alkaline. Or what was the comment, Angelo? I can't find it now. The chat's going. A lot of comments here. The medication causing birth defects. Well, with what we know about vaccinations these days too. I saw a comment, Angela, about some foods that are acidic. Once they're in your body, they get converted to alkalinity. And I see your chart here, because we can't click on the chart, but yeah. Yeah, Chris said she didn't know about the toxins being transferred to the cord. Yep, Larry, I was born an alcoholic. There was more alcohol in my bloodstream than blood. My mother went out drinking beer every night when she was pregnant with me, and I literally do mean every night. And she smoked heavily. So yeah.
But all we can do from this point on is to start where we are at this point right now. So we can all go back and say, well, this happened. But at this point, there's things we can do. We can move towards the good things and move away from the bad things. And it's available right now. There's no reason why we can't. There's so much information out there right now about living a healthy lifestyle. And there's just go to YouTube, go to any place, health food store, just whatever you can do to stay away from the bad stuff and move towards the good is the best thing.
So Chris says she was smoking cigars.
She was smoking cigars.
She says I was smoking and drinking too, and not just cigs. So it must be cigars.
Right, cigars.
Yeah,
or maybe pipe tobacco.
Yeah, Chris, I remember some of that. We've all been there. We've all been there. We've all done a little bit of it.
It's the same. Like we were also talking this morning about mindset, and you brought that up earlier today too. It's the thoughts that you think, and the people that you hang around with. Now, one thing that we do, a lot of us that are sort of in the same little environment, the same kind of group that we're doing, this healthy aging group, organic, 100% organic. Community I shouldn't say group, a community that we're involved in. We listen to a phone call first thing in the morning. It's 8 o'clock Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern time by Dr. Doug Fireball. And it's a 10-minute call. It's a 10-minute phone call. And he just talks about how you need to pour all these positive things into your brain every single day because we're surrounded by negative stuff. We listen to the radio, we watch TV, the news, the political, right? This is political season, I think, isn't it? Right now, everybody's talking about political. If you allow yourself to get bombarded by that stuff, if you allow yourself to get bombarded by the negativity, it's going to drag you down. It's just going to be it's like you try to swim across a little lake and you put all this weight on, and you're gonna sink. You got to go down. Don't do that. Move away from that stuff and move towards the people who are going to pour into you. People like Doug Fireball or other positive, inspirational people who are going to pour good things into your brain. How important is that to you, Len, to do that?
It's absolutely critical. You got to do it. And I'm a firm believer in the early morning power hour. I get up about 4 o'clock most mornings. My target is 4, and I open my first off I open my day most days with my Tai Chi routine, and then I open it with reading. I've got multiple books that I'm reading. And then I'm usually almost every day I'm on the 8 o'clock call. It's only 10 minutes long, so it's not very disruptive. But that's all good stuff. It's important. Yeah, and as you say, we're so surrounded with negativity. Now, one of the things that I've done, and you've done the same thing, is I've shut off a lot of the negativity. I don't have television in my house. I have a TV hooked up to a VCR or a DVD player so I can play a movie. Where I said VCR, easy, that rolled off the tongue. That'll age me. But I don't have news. I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to the television. And we got enough negativity on Facebook. We don't need the television and the radio to reinforce it.
Just looking at a right hand. If you're on Facebook, looking at a right hand column, and those news stories are there. You can't. It's not like we're trying to not care or not be concerned about what's going on in the world. We're going to get that information. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear it from somewhere. I'm just not going to participate in it. I'm just not going to participate in it. Just the same thing all the time. Yeah. Misery loves company. Misery absolutely loves company.
Yeah, you know something. Chris is making the comment there to Christi that you can educate one mother. One of the things that I'm finding, and I know we all know what we're talking about, but one of the things that I'm finding is that these 2 little short videos, and especially the 10 Average Americans, that video is very impactful when you just share it with women that are of childbearing age. And one of the ways that I've been doing that is sharing it with their mothers who share it with them. So, and it's actually working. People are very impressed by it. So I've been, for example, going to friends that I know, women that I know that are in our age group and saying, hey, take a look at this video, and if you find value in it, share it with your daughters or your daughter's friends. And
Right.
yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
And and they're responding. They're responding to it. So I think it's very easy. I think people are ready for this message.
Well, we're heading in that direction right now. I think the whole world is turning green. It's whether I should say green, because green sometimes because there's sort of a political connotation to it as well. But the world is it's like an awakening and awareness right now where we are learning things. We're learning more stuff about not doing the bad things. For me, I need things simple. I need to just learn to just move away from the bad and move towards the good. And if you can keep it simple like that, it just makes sense to me.
Well, we're also learning the truth. I mean, remember when I was a kid growing up, the cigarette companies told us that smoke was good for you. No, there was nothing wrong with cigarettes. They didn't hurt anybody, and the smoke was pure. It was filtered. It came all the way through the cigarette before it got to you. So I mean,
and 9 out of 10 doctors would recommend a certain menthol cigarette.
Now we and now the same thing is happening. Suddenly the food industry is being exposed for what it really is. We didn't know.
Right.
We didn't know how bad our food was. I mean, even a few years ago, I don't know. Maybe the information was there, but it wasn't getting to the masses the way it's getting there now.
Yeah, and I would say just the internet has done that for us.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't available. All this stuff wasn't available. I mean, how long? Facebook's only been around for how many years altogether?
I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 or something. It's not that long.
Yeah,
it's not that old.
Not that many years, but yeah, we
maybe more.
Like you said, the information was probably available, but you had to go searching for it. You had to maybe go to a library and research it.
Or the scientists in the lab knew it, but they were being paid a lot of money to suppress it.
Exactly. All the processed food, the preservatives, all those things that are in there. So if you go organic, and if you're taking something that's Mother Earth, if you take the things you put in your body and the things you put on your skin, if it's Mother Earth, it's probably going to be better for you than the stuff that man's trying to make so they can make a profit off it somehow. You follow the money trail. Yeah. Follow the money trail.
For sure. So I think we know a lot more these days about what it takes to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
And that's what we need to do. We just need to take those steps, move away toward. I keep saying that. I keep saying I might sound like a broken record. I'd say that for me because there's so much information out there. There's so much noise out there. Everybody's saying, "Oh, this is good," and they're all selling their products or whatever. There's just so many things. There's just so whatever it is for you, whatever works for you, just take whatever works for you that's going to make you healthier, move away from those bad things and move towards the good, whatever it is, whether you join a company or a community that is doing that, or just go down to your local health food store and start looking around and start asking questions and start putting more of the healthy organic stuff into your body and onto your skin as well, and around your home, the products that we use, things. I mean, I was a landscape contractor for lots of years. I would first of all, I would spray Roundup from Monsanto. I would spray that all the time. I was around that for years.
And you breathed it.
Years. And I was breathing. And they said it was fine.
Perfectly safe.
They said this would not harm humans, would not harm animals, wouldn't harm anything. Yeah. And then most of the time I was using this PVC glue and cleaner for putting pipes together, and I had it all over my skin. I had it over my hands, my legs. It was just all over me every single freaking day. And then I wonder why my brain blew up. I had a stroke 10 years ago. I'm not saying that caused it, but it was probably a combination of a whole bunch of things.
Sure it was.
that caused that sort of stuff. Plus all the salt that I was putting on my meat every single night. No, there's things that we know now that we're learning, and it's our responsibility to take those steps and move towards those things and educate other people too if we care, our family members or whatever. Just let people know that there are things out there that can make life better for you and more enjoyable.
Amen.
Amen.
It's 8:59.
Okay, our time. Okay, so Len, now could you get that video to somebody if somebody wants that video? You said you know where that is.
Sure.
So if somebody contacts Len, they go to lenmooney.com. They can Len can send you a video.
Find me on Facebook.
You find him on Facebook. Yeah. Len does a month with Len.
10 Average Americans.
Okay.
I think is the name of it, but
just contact Len. Len does a video every single morning. He does his Coffee with Len video every single morning. That's up there all the time. And he also does a lunch with Len where he has guests and he does trainings, teachings on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, tomorrow, I've got Priscilla on with me tomorrow.
Oh, you know,
Priscilla
McMillan.
Yeah. Tomorrow's
Awesome.
She's our guest tomorrow on Lunch with Len.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Priscilla McMillan she's a regular co-host on this show here on Breakfast Square to Success every Thursday. So it's going to be really cool. So I'm glad you said that she's going to be on there. That's pretty cool.
Cool, Chris. Hey, Chris, do you know the website? If you do, type it in the chat. I don't know it off the top of my head. Just 10 Americans.
So tomorrow on the show, I have a special guest, a special co-host. It's going to be Edie Weinstein. Edie is a spiritual. Well, she's a best-selling author, a friend of a couple of guests that I had on last week, Edie Galley and Judy Martini. So that's how I made that whole connection. But she's going to be a really great guest tomorrow. So she'll be on tomorrow morning on a Breakfast Square to Success show, 8:30 in the morning. And then Wednesday, I've got something really special for the first time ever. Just like my first time I've got somebody in my studio here with me. I've got two shows. I've got my regular show coming on at the same time, 8:30 Pacific time, and I've got a guy named Paul Santisi. Now, if you never heard of Paul Santisi, he's got like about hundreds of these videos that are out there on YouTube. You can just check them out, look them up, and they're all mindset. They're all about helping you to improve your life mentally, emotionally, putting you to a different state. He uses this technology called a 3D technology, where you have to wear headphones for that. But he's a really powerful guy, and I just met him just a couple of days ago. We became friends on Facebook, and he agreed to come into the show and do this amazing show. And he said, "Ask him anything." He's just a really cool guy. Go to YouTube and check him out. Paul Santisi, really cool guy. Just a really fun guy with a lot of amazing content. And then later on that same day, I have the incomparable Robert House is going to be coming on 11:30 Pacific time, 2:00 Eastern time. It's the only time now. I'm not going to start making exceptions, making afternoon. I don't want to be doing more than one show a day, but that's the only time that Robert could come in. Robert's he's got a new program called Life Mechanics, so it's really cool. So check him out. And that's on Wednesday. So two shows on Wednesday. Thursday I got Priscilla McMillan, and Friday we got Jackson Kelly.
Maybe.
Well, he'll be fine.
Well, we've been reading the chat. He's still in a lot of pain. Apparently,
yeah, he hurt us real bad. So we're putting our prayers out, our prayers and positive tensions, gratitude in advance for the healing for Jackson Kelly. So I'm a big believer in the whole transference of our intentions, the energy that we put out there. So I'm grateful for the healing that Jackson is going through right now. He's going through a healing. Yeah. And as I started to show off this morning, I offered prayers for a friend of mine, Debbie Duran Whalen, who's having a brain aneurysm surgery on Wednesday. So please continue those positive intentions out there for her. So get those things out. So anything you want to say before we close it up, Len?
I'm all good. Just be happy. It's a choice. You get to make it every day.
Amen.
And amen, Chris, to you too. Every woman of childbearing age needs to see it. And this is a very simple thing to do. Just tell them to look at a little 10-minute video. Don't tell them what it's about. Just say, hey, listen, I got some information for you that you need to see.
Right. Exactly.
Bam.
Great message, Len. Thanks so much for coming here.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
And you gotta get out of here. What, today, late maybe, or tomorrow?
Okay, well, let's go have some bacon and eggs.
Right.
No. Yeah, well, I'm going to get out of here as soon as my package of health food arrives. I'm waiting for a shipment.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Thanks so much for coming. Have yourself a great day filled with positive momentum, because you're awesome and you deserve it. Okay, so we'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.